a single, chilling message crackles across the Strait of Malacca. All officers, including the captain, dead. I die. The world knows this story as the ghost ship with a dead crew, yet no official record of the steamship Urang Medan has ever been found. What could transform a forgotten freighter into one of history's most enduring sea legends? And does any truth lurk beneath the myth? This is where our search for answers begins. The waters of the Strait of Malacca have always been crowded, but in the late 1940s, they were a crossroads of confusion and danger. Indonesia was fighting for its independence, and the shipping lanes between Sumatra and British Malaya teemed with vessels that often sailed under false names or no flag at all. Many of these ships moved quietly, carrying leftover war supplies, black market cargo, or simply hoping to avoid the attention of naval patrols and pirates alike. In this shadowy environment, a freighter named Urang Medan, which means man from Medan, would not have drawn much notice. Medan, a bustling Sumatran port city, lent its name to countless local boats, and a Dutch freighter registered there could easily slip through the cracks of international record-keeping. At the time, the number of unregistered or loosely documented ships surged, with some estimates suggesting dozens vanished from official logs between 1945 and 1949. In the chaos of post-war Southeast Asia, it was not unusual for a ship to leave little trace behind. The lack of paperwork or registry entries for a vessel like the Urang Medan was not, by itself, a red flag. It was simply part of the maritime reality, a world where a ship could appear, disappear, and leave only rumors in its wake. The first traceable mention of the Urang Medan surfaces not in a shipping log or naval report, but in the pages of an Italian newspaper. In October 1940, Silvio Shirley, a radio operator and part-time journalist in Trieste, published a story as part of his series on maritime tragedies. His original account was spare, almost clinical, no frantic Morse code, no crew frozen in terror, and no mention of a fiery end. The ship's fate was left vague, and the story read more like a cautionary tale than a horror legend. 8 years later, the narrative took on a new life. In 1948, Dutch-Indonesian newspapers began serializing the tale, now with added drama. The Urang Medan was placed squarely in the Strait of Malacca, and for the first time, readers encountered the chilling details that would define the legend. A supposed distress message, pieced together in broken English, read, "All officers, including the captain, dead, lying in chart room and on the bridge. Probably whole crew dead. I die." The story described a boarding party finding the crew sprawled at their stations, eyes wide, mouths agape, as if caught at the moment of some unseen terror. In some versions, even the ship's dog was found dead, its face twisted in fear. The ending, too, began to splinter. Sometimes the rescuers managed to tow the vessel before a sudden explosion sent it to the bottom. And in other accounts, the ship simply vanished beneath the waves, leaving no trace. What began as a single author's maritime mystery quickly mutated as it crossed borders and languages. Each retelling twisted the facts, adding new horrors and contradictions. The story's evolution, from Shirley's modest report to the fully fledged ghost ship legend, laid the groundwork for decades of speculation, and for the questions that would shadow every attempt to verify what, if anything, really happened to the Urang Medan. Searches for the Urang Medan in the world's shipping records turn up nothing but silence. Lloyd's Register, the global authority for merchant vessels, lists no ship by that name, or any close variant, from 1940 to 1950. The pages for Dutch freighters from Sumatra remain blank where the Urang Medan should appear. Insurance ledgers, which tracked even the most minor coastal traders for claims and losses, offer no entries. There are no port arrivals or departures for Medan, Singapore, or Batavia that mention the vessel. Harbour master ledgers in British Malaya and the Dutch East Indies, known for their meticulous detail, contain no sign of a ship with that name ever docking, loading, or clearing customs. Even the supposed rescue ships, such as the Silver Star, show no log entries, incident reports, or salvage claims that match the ghost ship story. Maritime radio archives from the late 1940s, including those of the US Coast Guard and the British Admiralty, hold no record of the chilling SOS message that made the legend famous. Everywhere investigators look, the paper trail runs cold. The Urang Medan's absence from every official index and port book is not just unusual, it is complete. For a ship said to have met such a dramatic end, the lack of any trace in the world's shipping records is its own kind of mystery. Every detail about the Urang Medan seems to unravel under close inspection. The year of the disaster slips between 1947 and 1948, depending on which newspaper or booklet is cited. Some accounts insist the ship met its end in the Strait of Malacca, while others drift thousands of miles away to the Marshall Islands. Even the now famous SOS message, "All officers, including the captain dead, I die," has never been found in any official radio log or transcript. No record exists in British, Dutch, or American maritime archives to confirm that such a signal was ever received. The confusion deepens with the supposed rescue. The Silver Star, often named as the first ship to answer the distress call, shows no log entries or incident reports for any such event during those years. There are no survivor statements, no salvage claims, no insurance reports, nothing to suggest that anyone boarded a ghostly vessel or witnessed its destruction. Not a single crew list, port record, or customs document places the Urang Medan in any harbour before or after its alleged tragedy. The story is a patchwork of contradictions, with every version introducing new gaps. These inconsistencies have only fueled speculation, inviting theories to fill the silence left by missing evidence. In the late 1940s, Southeast Asian freighters often carried volatile cargo, including metal phosphides, arsenic compounds, and leftover munitions. When exposed to seawater, metal phosphides can release phosphine gas, a substance so toxic it can kill within minutes. A toxicologist familiar with maritime incidents notes that phosphine exposure causes convulsions and the rigid, terrified expressions described in the legend. If a leak occurred below deck, the gas would rise, filling the ship's compartments and overwhelming everyone before a full distress call could be sent. The absence of wounds or evidence of a struggle fits this scenario, as does the fact that valuables were reportedly left untouched. Death would have come too fast for theft or sabotage. Carbon monoxide is another contender. Faulty engines or refrigeration could allow this odorless gas to accumulate, leading to rapid unconsciousness and death. Yet classic symptoms like cherry red skin are never mentioned. And the open design of most freighters would make death of the entire crew unlikely unless ventilation failed completely. Piracy and mutiny have been suggested, but the Strait of Malacca's pirates rarely left valuables behind, and no police or insurance records exist. Chemical exposure remains the most plausible explanation, matching the sudden, markless deaths and the untouched ship. Stories like the Urang Medan thrive in the spaces left by silence and uncertainty. With no official records to anchor the tale, the legend found new life in the pages of post-war magazines, pulp digests, and radio shows. By the 1950s, the ghost ship motif was everywhere, with a dead crew, terror-stricken faces, and a final message cut short by death. Each retelling borrowed from the last, mixing in details drawn from older maritime mysteries like the Mary Celeste and the Carol A. Deering. The mechanics of the legend are almost clinical. A chilling SOS, a ship with no past, a rescue that ends in fire. These elements repeat because they work, they unsettle, they linger, and they invite listeners to fill in the gaps with their own fears. Print culture played a crucial role. As magazine circulation exploded in the 1950s, the Urang Medan appeared in everything from sea story collections to true mystery columns. The lack of evidence became a feature, not a flaw. Writers and editors could tweak the story for maximum effect, shifting dates, adding survivors, or hinting at forbidden cargo. The result was a tale that moved easily from one language to another, growing more vivid and horrifying with each pass. Even today, online forums and YouTube videos breathe new life into the legend, repeating the familiar beats and amplifying the eerie details. The Urang Medan endures, not because of what is known, but because of what cannot be proven. It stands as a textbook example of how urban legends outlive the facts that spawned them. Official records remain empty, yet the Urang Medan haunts maritime lore, proof that unanswered mysteries never truly die. In an age of instant information, some legends only deepen their shadows. What else might we accept as truth just because we crave a story? Share your theories below.